It's true, Aunt has no idea how old I am. Every year since I was very young, my parents have hosted parties for the econ majors, and this year was very exciting because I was an econ major, so I got to go to a party at my own house. My parents were hosting, I didn't have to set up for it or clean up afterwards or anything. And so, my dad's trying to gauge the class or, see how many people are, of drinking age, and he says, who's 21? And I just shoot my hand up in the air, I'm so excited, I'm finally 21. And he looks at me, he's like, put your hand down. This is 3 days after he bought me the iPhone 5C for my 21st birthday. So now, for his rebuttal, the man who thought Hollister was a university where the students just had incredible school spirit. The man who thought the manliest purchase of the early 2000s was a mac and cheese colored FJ Cruiser, Antony Davies.
Thank you very much. Thank you all for coming out this evening, and thank Elizabeth for putting on a wonderful dinner, and my colleagues for that wonderful introduction. I understand that I'm supposed to say something disparaging about you at this point. I imagine that your paying to attend a dinner in my honor says more about your questionable judgment than anything I could possibly add. I'm used to being vilified. It's actually more comfortable than being honored because I know what people are going to say. Why do you hate the poor? Who's going to build the roads? What is the fixation with roads? No one ever asks who will build the iPhones. Maybe it's because the roads are crappy and the iPhones aren't. iPhones must be easy to make. There are lots of them. They all work very well. We don't need the government to build iPhones. But if the roads are this crappy, even with the government in charge, imagine how crappy they'd be if no one was in charge. People say children's educations are too important to leave to the market. I don't understand this. We leave food to the market, and food is much, much more important than children's educations. Don't believe me? Try shutting down all the grocery stores for a week. You'll get rioting, people dying, eating their animals. People will panic and life will become very crappy very fast. Now, shut down all the schools for a week and you've got spring break. Maybe it's this road problem again. People figured that schools would be super crappy with no one in charge because, well, the government is in charge and they're only very crappy. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the no-win scenario. All the government has to do is to make crappy stuff. The crappier it is, the more people will believe that we need the government in charge because look how hard it is to make this stuff. If the government can't do it well, certainly we can't. We use the largest government on the planet to build roads that are, well, crappy. That's how we got the TSA, by the way. The terrorists got in because the government was crappy in security, so we now have lots of government doing lots of crappy security. It's true we haven't had a terrorist attack in over a decade, but that's because the TSA is so crappy the terrorists don't want to fly. I hang out with libertarians a lot. They're always good for a free drink. But I don't believe in libertarianism. I'm an anarchist. Anarchists take a principled stand for the sanctity of human freedom. Libertarians just want to be left alone to smoke weed. They're basically anarchists with commitment issues. Now sure, they make a powerful noise about inalienable rights, but then they advocate setting up governments to protect those rights, and they're surprised when those same governments turn around and enslave them. Government is a big stick. If you put it on the table, someone who's bigger than you will pick it up and beat you with it. Libertarians want everyone to agree not to pick up the stick, unless it's to stop someone else from picking up the stick. Anarchists just want to get the hell away from the table. As I get the last word this evening, I'll offer you some words on words. Soldiers fight with fists and weapons. Academics and writers fight with words and ideas. Over the past years, I've written over 100 op-eds and produced more than 50 videos. Some are crappy. But I've learned something worth sharing. When you fight with fists and weapons, the other guy is your enemy. Your goal is to vanquish him. When fight with words and ideas, the other guy's an ally that you just haven't recruited yet. Your goal is to convince him that he should be fighting with you, not against you. And that's weird. If you're walking down the bad end of Forbes and someone pulls a gun on you, initiating a discussion of virtues of being secure in your person and property will only get you an ass kicking. Any of you who've had a run-in with the law know that the last place you want to start quoting the Fourth Amendment is a DUI checkpoint. You don't win the argument, although in some states you do get a free colonoscopy. To win the battle of ideas, don't look to defeat the people you disagree with. Look to recruit them. Help them to recognize that you and they want the same thing. Lives that are less scrappy.